May I have your attention, please? Commencing in five, commencing in five. Thank you. Please take your seats and please put your mobile phones on a silent mode. Thank you.
O't.
O'tirgan.
Can I have your attention, please? Commencing in two, commencing in two. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Offshore Outsourcing Tour. I am your host for today. My name is Bahadur Ayupov. And if you find my name challenging to pronounce, just call me Bob. You'll be surprised to see how committed the local team is to make our investors' lives easier. I am the CEO of IT Park University, and on behalf of the Ministry of Digital Tech, hey, you know what I noticed? This audience is getting more and more international. I swear to God, like a couple of years ago when I was hosting a similar event, it was primarily local faces, but now, look at you, beautiful people. Kamala, is Kamala here? Kamala? Right, you have the list of our participants today. How many countries are represented today? 32 countries. Holy moly, mamma mia. 32 countries. Now, many, that deserves an applause. Thank you very much. Many of you sitting here represent countries of our admiration, countries of our inspiration. I remember during one of my first visits to Singapore, I know we have at least a couple of representatives from this country, we were taken on a fascinating tour through the history of development of this country, and I was just amazed with a clear vision this country had on what they wanted to be and how they wanted to go about it. I was amazed with the persistence of this country leadership, with the strategy applied, and a very similar feeling of awe I had when I was exposed to the history of strategic country development when I was in Israel, and then when I was in India, Estonia, not to mention, of course, the United States when we were traveling with our delegates through the Silicon Valley. But a colleague of mine, Sultan Murad, most of you probably know him, went for an IT exploration tour to Ireland. And he came back with this sexy shirt with a big sign, Ireland, and something about IT, and he just wouldn't shut up about it. And during those amazing visits and our exposure to this history, one thought, one question I would say would always haunt me, and that is, what was it like to live during those times of countries' transformation that led these countries to the global cases of success? How do the people involved feel? Now, I no longer have this question because the answer is here. That feeling, ladies and gentlemen, is in the air today. So on behalf of the Ministry of Digital Technologies of the Republic of Uzbekistan and IT Park Uzbekistan, I want to thank you all for being here with us during these historical times of our country's transformations. Now, we want to show you one very interesting video. And I see in the audience quite a few companies who were with us during our previous conferences, a bit skeptical about Uzbekistan, and honestly, I am overwhelmed with joy to see these companies now among the ranks of IT Park residents, and to see these companies now becoming those who help us promote Uzbekistan and tell our story. The following video, ladies and gentlemen, is for those companies new to Uzbekistan and still remain in doubt about investing. Gentlemen.
Uzbekistan is the best choice for growing your business. Uncover the wonders of Uzbekistan through the IT Visa Relocation Program. Explore the amazing nature with mountains, rivers, lakes, waterfalls, and even deserts. Uzbekistan, crafting the world's finest conditions for offshore outsourcing. Outsource with confidence. Choose Uzbekistan. Grow your business with us.
Now, folks, we take a lot of time to prepare for these events. This video has a curse on it. We never had a single time when this video played without any technical hiccups. So apologies for that. Now, in this video, ladies and gentlemen, there was a lot of things we take much pride in. But with a bunch of stats that you saw, this video is also the one that we will watch in, I don't know, 2030, again, shed a tear and say, I cannot believe this is where we once were. Now, in most of the countries that I mentioned earlier with economic miracles, there was one thing that these countries had in common, and that is a strong and a very committed leader. The president of Uzbekistan is definitely going down in history as such. And among many of his qualities, one, without a doubt, is of ultimate importance, and that is his ability to form around him a strong team of young and progressive revolutionists. One of them, ladies and gentlemen, is charging faster and farther than the rest. Please meet the Minister of Digital Technologies of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Mr. Sherzod Shermatov.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, dear guests. I would like to welcome you all in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent, in our building. And I hope that your decision to come to our first Uzbekistan Offshore Outsourcing Tour would be very beneficial for you. Because I remember the times when we were starting everything. Back in 2017, when His Excellency President Mirziyoyev sent us to learn different experiences all over the world. We've been in Belarus, we've been in India, we've been in any other countries. And we were entrusted with the task that we should craft the best conditions available for all the IT and IT-enabled services exporting companies in Uzbekistan in this IT park. And now you can see that this is happening. And we've been, all our homework up to now, we've been creating the best legal conditions. We've been creating the necessary ecosystem of training young specialists, infrastructure, which this kind of buildings which are not available just in the Tashkent city, but also in all the regions, as well as trying to bring the new companies and try to work with them, with our new and young team of people like IT Park. Here, Farhad, he will be presenting all the details. And so you will see the different Uzbekistan now than it was in 2017. And I hope that you will not regret coming here, and definitely you will be having the first commerce advantage as well. Because already, just for the past 2 years, we see tremendous increase of the number of companies with foreign capital, which are the residents of IT Park Uzbekistan. They increased about 20 times. You don't see this kind of increase in the number of foreign companies in any country, especially in the times when the world is becoming very uncertain It's very difficult to predict what's going to happen. And Uzbekistan is becoming a very safe place for those companies to consider to come to benefit from all the opportunities here. And of course, this helped us to increase the overall level of experts from Uzbekistan, IT and enabled services experts, 7 times just for the past 2 years. And it's just the beginning. And I hope that all those companies who came today will be having all the benefits of enjoying all those benefits as those international companies. And today we invited also all our representatives from Ministry of all the regions of Uzbekistan, so that you will not be having an opportunity to visit not just Tashkent and Samarkand. Here we have all the heads of our regions. Hududiylarimiz qani? Turvaringlar. So these guys are the regional ministers of digital technologies. So for those IT companies who are interested in growing your business in the regions of Uzbekistan, they will be helpful here to help you to relocate your business, to open your offices, and to enjoy the zero risk program in those respected regions. Rahmat sizlarga, o'tiring. And I just want to once again thank you all for coming, and I hope that this visit will be very productive. And I just want to ensure that this is very important for Uzbekistan. Why? Because Uzbekistan is a double landlocked country, and Uzbekistan has a very growing population. And therefore, this is a top priority, not only for His Excellency, Mr. President Mirziyoyev, but at all levels of the government. Minister of Digital Technology and all the regional mayors and the district mayors are very much interested in expanding opportunities for IT exports. So instead of sending our people abroad as low-skilled migrants, etc., we rather try to bring those remote jobs to Uzbekistan. So people in the districts, in the regions of Uzbekistan are committed to create you all the necessary conditions and to help you enjoy the zero-risk program which we provide. Of course, there might be need for capacity building. There might be need for training our young people for your needs. From that side, we are also committed to provide the necessary subsidy for those training centers which are training successful graduates to be employed in the export-oriented companies. And these are just a glimpse of the benefits which we are offering, and I think that Farhad in his presentation will be providing all the details. And we are here, and all our team is here, not myself, my deputy ministers, IT Park, and all our other representatives are here. So I hope that it's not going to just finish with this official presentation and opening. We will be discussing in more detail, and you will be just enjoying your visit while here in Uzbekistan. Thank you all. Rahmat.
Sherzod Khatgamich, thank you very much for an absolute inspiration that you are for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to introduce a distinguished leader whose contributions have been pivotal in shaping the digital landscape of Uzbekistan. Recently, under his guidance, the World Bank approved a groundbreaking $50 million of concessional loans for the Uzbekistan Digital Inclusion Program. Now, this visionary endeavor seeks to enhance access to digital skills and employment opportunities, especially for those residing in rural and remote areas. Now, his vision perfectly aligns with Uzbekistan's ambitious goals of increasing IT export, attracting foreign investment, and providing meaningful employment opportunities for citizens. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Marco Mantovanelli, the World Bank Country Manager for Uzbekistan.
Thank you very much for that introduction, overly generous, I think. And Mr. Shermatov, dear Minister, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just an honor, but it's a pleasure to be here with you all today. Indeed, at the World Bank, we believe in the agenda that we're discussing today to the point of investing in it. We see this as the way forward. As an economic development practitioner, it's my pleasure to be attending events like this because they really represent economic development in practice, not on a desk, not in negotiations, but in practice. So why Uzbekistan? Why we at the World Bank Group paid so much attention on Uzbekistan? Our program has tripled, if not grown four times by the time Uzbekistan launches reform. Well, if you are a private investor, of course, it requires a bit of vision looking forward. But this vision, in our opinion, is these days supported by already a strong track record. We heard it. This is the largest market in Central Asia, the most populous country in Central Asia with a huge youth dividend. People increasingly more savvy, technologically savvy, outward-oriented. So there is that basin, a landlocked country sitting between East and West that can regain its historical role of connecting, this time not through camels and caravans, but more through digital connectivity. Since 2017, the country has embarked in a dramatic change, and we all recognize that change. I would like to draw your attention to the track record. Despite an incredibly uncertain international environment, we all lived it. This is one of the few countries in the world that has maintained macroeconomic stability and positive economic growth, even during the pandemic. Which means that the fundamentals of the reforms were right. Starting it in 2017 was, in a way, lucky, just ahead of all this crisis, because it created that endurance that was very much needed. But even if we look forward at the 2030 strategy, there's this focus on doubling the size of the economy, cutting poverty in half. By the way, on both fronts, there is substantive progress. We know that these goals may be ambitious, but they are achievable. And they do require one fundamental aspect. They require private sector investment. They do require filling the investment gap with dynamism and innovation. And the reasons why we are all here. We are very happy as World Bank Group, as I said, to support this progress. Economic development is not linear. It goes ups and downs, but we do trust that the progression is positive. And that is what investors should look to. We also believe strongly on the profound impact that digital economy will have on this economy and these areas of the world. The digital transformation has been at the forefront of the reform since 2017, and now it's enshrined in Digital Uzbekistan, the 2030 strategy, and even the proof is even this building, right? That when I came to Uzbekistan not long ago was still under construction, and now is fully operative, attracting foreign companies. We are proud to be part of this evolution. As we said at the beginning, we're investing in digital skills for the digital economy with a focus on inclusiveness. This has been a top priority for the country, transitioning to a market economy with inclusion. And that angle is enshrined in this project that we are supporting, where we hope to create digital skills in support of private investment, including in remote areas of the countries. So with that, I'd like to conclude by stating that this is economic development in action. It is exciting to be part of that agenda, and it is important to help Uzbekistan completely move fast and across to complete this transformation that is launched in 2017. As World Bank Group, we are determined to support the progress, and I hope you all will be part of this adventure. With that, thank you very much for the invitation. Much appreciated.
Mr. Antomanelli, the World Bank support is absolutely invaluable for us, especially through your wise guidance, and we thank you very much for that. Folks, one of the major factors of success in reforms of Uzbekistan digital landscape that has turned this country into one of the attractive outsourcing destinations is an effective channel of communication that the regulator has built with the private sector. Now, to put it very simply, you have the Ministry of Digital Technologies, right? The regulator. And you have IT Park in the middle that approaches an IT company with a question, how else can we help you make even more money? And the company says, well, it would be nice to have this, this, and this, and IT Park says, okay, thank you. Right, and then it discusses the wish list with the ministry, and then pushes through the respective changes in the legislation. Boom, done. Anything else? Well, back in the country where we HQ'd, we have these, and these measures, and IT Park goes, okay, thank you, got, right? The ministry, can we accommodate this? The ministry goes, let's see if the country administration approves this. Okay, good, we have a go-ahead, boom, done. Now, there is one person whose philosophy and principles have shaped this trust of an IT private sector to this channel of communication and the regulator as a result. And that would be our next speaker. And he is here, yet with another truckload of delicious amenities for IT and outsourcing companies. Please meet the CEO of IT Park Uzbekistan, Mr. Farhod Ibragimov.
Too much introduction, thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. I'm very glad to see everyone here. Thank you for visiting Uzbekistan, to visiting Offshore Outsourcing Tour. We prepare a lot to achieve the current status. I remember myself, 2017, I'll give you like a little background, and it was almost impossible. Only 3 companies were resident of IT Park, or the membership of IT Park, from the foreign partnership. Only these 3. Now we achieved the result that more than 450 foreign companies are already members of IT Park and starting their operation. This is great. But before that, we spent a lot of time to build the background. We start with the first 2016, when the current president, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, was elected as the president of Uzbekistan. It was started the journey of the tech of Uzbekistan as well. It became new opportunities, starting from here. Starting only from giving the tax incentives in the beginning, in 2017. And we pay a lot of attention for the update the legislation at the time. according to the feedback of the member companies. The second, why we pay attention, to make the comprehensive work for the development, to build the infrastructure. This is not only the buildings, this is high-speed internet and the uninterrupted electricity, not only in Tashkent, across whole Republic of Uzbekistan. What we pay attention more is capacity building. Capacity building, we changed a lot of the programs which already exist at that time. Is mostly not face the requirements of the international companies. And finally, we see that 2019, not only the IT companies could be the members of IT Park and enjoy the benefits. It's starting to come with the BPO, KPO, and the IT training companies as well. And from almost this month, we are also having the welcome for the VC funds and the creative economy companies with the animation and design as well. They are also becoming the member of IT Park. So this is the huge story, as the minister said, that with the very young, growing population, double landlocked country, with the disadvantage of the export of the resources and the goods, they find the way to export the knowledge through the internet and become the competitive in the whole world. So the story of Uzbekistan starting from that time. Now, here we are here. According with the latest presentation which we have in the overseas or in Uzbekistan, mostly we are focusing on the IT park itself, on IT. But now we're becoming more and more service providing companies membership, we are providing them. For all the service company, it doesn't mean only the IT, could start to be the resident of IT Park itself. That's why the presentation mostly not going to only to IT, but on the country scale. Let me start. I should switch on. Just a second, sorry. Where? Yesterday, we trained a lot. Yesterday, it was the video clip perfect. It's always like this. It was in US, it was in the Dubai as well. There is some members who are visiting us. Sometimes it's happened, sorry for that. So, Uzbekistan at a glance. Despite the shock of pandemic, geopolitical or the economical situation in the recent years, Uzbekistan economy has been shown stable growing rate of the GDP of 6% in 2023. So this is one of the highest growth in the world, on the 15th place for the growing the GDP. And economic liberalization measures implemented by the government since 2017 deliver improvements to the Uzbekistan business and investment climate to decrease the inflation rate from 14 till less than 9%. An important thing is that unemployment rate, now it is less than 8% in the Republic of Uzbekistan. It depends from the regions as well. One of the key factors of increasing the FDIs for 6 times, it could be the trust to the Republic of Uzbekistan on that reforms which we are providing. And FDI invests in the infrastructure development, job creation, and the technology transfer, etc. Another important sector, this is the banking sector. It's significantly shift over to the private ownership in the financial sector. Before 2023, it was 13 public-owned banks, but now you can see that this is this is owned by 10 banks, and by 2026, the number of the banks becomes 3 by the state-owned. An important factor is to the deposit funds. 15% hold the deposit funds belong to the foreign investment, foreign capital. So this kind of changes, development is happening in Uzbekistan, and we are one of the dynamic developing countries, not only in the region, but I hope in the world. And you can, during your stay, you will see how the fastest developing if you can compare with the previous Uzbekistan. Another thing is that it's Uzbekistan landscape. Reach human access destination. This is the key factor while defining Uzbekistan. 36 million population, 60% of them is under 30, and almost, this is 10 million people is 18 to 35. This is the target audience for the companies, most of the service companies. Another advantage is that, to emphasize the accessibility of CIS market, is for the product expansion, it's almost the 300 million population can be provided the product service oriented. And we are located between the Europe and Asia with the comfort time zone. Can you imagine for the Central European time, we have the -4. For the Asia, for the East, South Asia, this is +4. For the -4, I mean only the -2 hours. It means that for providing the service in our region through Uzbekistan, this is the cheapest and the most quality way. Because we are the multilingual, we will continue on this in the next slide as well. So 76 direct flights to 31 countries and the free visa regime for the 90 countries. Important to mention that 99 internet coverage in Uzbekistan and 31 million internet users. Annually, we have more than 125,000 university graduates, and 25,000 of them belong to the IT. Government pays a lot of attention for the capacity building. And together with United Arab Emirates government, it was launched the program 1 million Uzbek coders, where over the million high school graduates could get the trainings of the software development and getting the graduates of that. Project like English Speaking Nation and the IT Nation in public schools have reformed education in helping to meet international standards requirements. First of all, we build a background for the companies as yours. Historically, Uzbekistan is famous for its hospitality. And as a result of it, over 100 nationalities and various religions living in the neighborhood in the whole Republic of Uzbekistan. When you will visit the regions, or even you stay in Tashkent, you will see a lot of religions who is living in Uzbekistan peacefully. Uzbekistan has 14 administrative units. This is the capital of Tashkent, 12 regions, and Autonomous Republic of Kazakhstan. So in all of them, we have the regional branches where we can provide you the office spaces and the training spaces for start your business. And currently we have over 225,000 square meters in the whole country. Important to mention, government of Uzbekistan pays huge attention to green energy as well. Production, and the previously years, it was invested over $30 billion to produce the 30 million megawatts that make us quite attractive for the hyperscalers and the cloud providers. So very soon we're expecting more and more companies for the data centers in Uzbekistan as well. Tomorrow you will have opportunity to visit Samarkand, and maybe some of you can visit the other regions as well. Each region has their own unique competitive advantage. As example, Fergana Valley, easy to find the experienced specialist for the animation and the design. And also the Arab language for the BPO services is also have advantage if we compare with the other regions. Another is Khorizm. They're very well known for a data science region. And the Bukhara, the graduates, high school graduates, they have the highest result in the Republic of Uzbekistan for the maths. And if you want to serve your market in German language as example, you can choose the Andijan or the Tashkent as well. So it depends from your specific of your business, and our consultancy, who is the supervising you here. We are ready to support you with that kind of your requirements. Based on your requirements, our team will assist you in select best location for the business. Uzbekistan government offering one of the best taxation regime for the tech companies, definitely in the region, but hopefully in the world as well. So we have prepared the comparison table with the other well-known outsourcing destinations. It's important to know that for the some of the countries, before you have the tax rate, it depends from the founders, it depends from number of the employees, it depends from many other factors which can affect to your tax rate. In Uzbekistan, doesn't matter. When you start your business, when you start to provide, it doesn't matter how many employees you will hire, it doesn't matter who are they and who are the founder. You can have the same tax benefits as here. Additionally, IT Park Uzbekistan offer you zero risk scheme. Here, if you will start your business anywhere except Tashkent, you will not spend any capex, any investment for starting your business. It means that office spaces, equipment, technical equipment, furniture, all possible capex expenses will be covered by us. This is like huge advantages from my point of view. And another new scheme, starting with from last month, we call it HQ, where the company could be member of IT Park, even if it's not the IT or the BPO related. The main criteria is at least 50% of the company revenue should come from overseas. There's some of the gentlemen asking that I'm from digital marketing, I'm not on that area. Can I be the resident of IT Park? I'm serving the Korea, South Korea. You say, yes, definitely. If your revenue is over than 50% is coming from overseas. So more detailed information you will find on our website, or supervisors will consult you with that. Very important project, which is coming very soon, and we will launch it till end of this year. During past 7 years, in operation, we faced many regulatory challenges, which most of them, it will be solved by us, by the ministry, by the government itself, but it is not easy to change the regulatory work, to change the law and the legislation on the country scale. But we are still getting the requirements from the companies to still change the legislation with the specific areas. So especially for that, with the support of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, we are launching a project, we call it Enterprise Uzbekistan. This is regulatory sandbox for the VC funds and the startups. This is the first. And the other is with the higher requirement companies, with the data privacy regulation, with the law, with the currency exchange, with the labor relation, intellectual property, or the commercial disputes. That kind of issues will be solved only in this area according to the different legislation. Mostly we'll hope to get the English common law here. So our aim to create the simple and the predictable regulation for the service-oriented companies. We expected to launch the project before end of this year, and please keep following the IT Park news. Uzbekistan ranks among the top 15 countries in the world for easy starting the business. Any foreigners can start the business in very short period of time, especially for IT Park. If you will apply for the one-stop shop, that could be possible to do in the corridor as soon as we'll finish today's presentation. And this is 1 day to spend to set up the company. And additionally, you can apply for the various IT Park schemes, including the find the office spaces, HR services, or accounting. accommodation, also the good possible for your employees, visa, etc. So we're expecting from you only the orders for export, the partially training and the employees, that is all. All other local offices establishment process can be partially or fully delegated to us. We want you just have your business here. All the other things will be covered by us. So up to date, IT Park has more than 1,800 companies. As I told you previously, more than 450 companies are with the foreign investment. And in 2023, export volume of the IT Park companies reached 344 million. Can you imagine 2017, it was less than million. So this is probably not the huge that number, but we are growing very fast. We are the fastest growing direction area sector in the Republic of Uzbekistan. So with the IT outsourcing accounting for significant portion is going to the 57% is going to the software development. The remaining shares are almost equally divided between the software products and the BPO and KPO services. So the main export destination is in North America, as you see. So this is like my last slide. What I mentioned before, this is, you can see the list. Next slide, please. Yes. You can see the list of advantages of Uzbekistan. At least we are competitive with the other locations for the IT, for the tech companies. So you are always welcome to start your business with us. You are always welcome to grow with us. And believe me, not only that we are taking care of you before you become the residents. Aftercare, this is our biggest advantage. So we hope to reach the good results, to work with you, and hope you will enjoy your stay in Uzbekistan. Thank you very much. Grow your business with us.
Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. Folks, if you feel overwhelmed with all that information, that is absolutely normal. It is quite habitual for Mr. Ibrahimov to come and unload the truckload of cookies and biscuits right in front of IT Park resident companies, and then they sit there and scratch their head thinking how to consume that all. So it'll take time to digest. Now, we have finally come to the most exciting part of our event, and that is panel sessions, ladies and gentlemen. We have 2 panel sessions prepared for you, one dedicated to talent potential of Uzbekistan and education capacity, and the other one to exploring IT and outsourcing ecosystem of this country. Now, these panel sessions are very useful, very valuable, especially for companies sitting here for the first time, because they give us an opportunity to look at some priority areas from the perspective of experts. And these experts are usually the ones that help us promote Uzbekistan abroad. Now, we travel a lot. When we go to, especially Western countries, many companies have Central Asia, not to mention Uzbekistan, off their radars. And these experts help us promote Uzbekistan, and then we have less and less people confusing Uzbekistan with Pakistan. I mean, being compared with Pakistan, of course, is an honor in itself, but nevertheless, Pakistan is Pakistan, Uzbekistan is Uzbekistan. So they go, where are you from? I say, Uzbekistan. Oh, Pakistan. No, Uzbekistan. Or they come up with some new names for a country, like Pakistan or Uzbekistan. That does not include Uzbekistan, which is Uzbekistan in Chinese. I hope I pronounced this right. Otherwise, our Chinese friends will beat me up backstage. Anyway, for the first panel discussion, I would like to introduce our moderator, one of the prominent leaders, a celebrity, if you will, in the IT education system of Uzbekistan. Please meet the rector of Inha University, Mr. Muzaffar Jalalov.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, dear guests, honorable minister, honorable friends. I'm really happy and honored to be here and moderate this session. With your kind permission, I would like to invite today's panelists. They are planned to be 3, so we had to replace one, but I hope that the level will be much higher. So, with your permission, our first panelist I would like to invite is Mr. Rustam Karimjanov, the Deputy Minister of Digital Technologies. Please, Rustam Aga. And second is the Rustam Aga. Mr. Eduardo Alcanzar, the head of SAP Division Next Gen Academy. Please, Eduardo. And Mr. Umidjon Ishmuhamedov, the founder of the Millat Umida University. Right. All right. Whatever development and the presentations were provided and whatever goals and visions we do, we cannot imagine without talents, without very talented staff members who actually do the job for us. So I would like to also, it's my big privilege and big honor to moderate this session with such a very perspective and representable people. And secondly, with your permission, I would like to start with Rustam Aljanj from you. Because the policy from the government side, what kind of plans, what kind of visions, and what kind of projects have been done in terms of working with first of all, in the level of the schools and the level of the universities, what kind of projects, and please, I'm sure that I'm asking too much questions, but try to fit it in the maximum 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. You know, to reach $5 billion of IT export, it's not easy, especially if it's directly connected with the people and the young generation we have in Uzbekistan. But it doesn't mean that if you have talents, it's ready to go to the market. So our team's main goal is make sure that our talent is fitting the requirements of the market, and based on the ambitious goals we have created, developed IT education ecosystem in Uzbekistan for the first time. And the main goal is nurture, educate, make ready to go to the market 300,000 highly qualified IT specialists. So, and this ecosystem consists of mainly 6 things. One is developing IT education in the schools, developing IT education in the IT universities. I'll share some information about the numbers later. And then third one is supporting the IT academies. This is private sector. Fourth one is supporting the online education and also supporting the electronic content development in Uzbek language. And of course, the training, retraining, certification programs of overall our generation, young people, and also the government officials. And the 6th one, which is a very important pillar of the IT education ecosystem, is involving our youth in IT sector. This is the first step entering the market. So in terms of the IT universities, if you go back to 3 or 4 years, we had only 3 or 4 foreign universities in Uzbekistan in overall. Nowadays, We have like 100 international universities doing educating our young generation in Uzbekistan. And out of overall 200 universities, 100 of them are, close to 100 are doing the, delivering the IT faculties and IT stuff. In total number of students studying in IT universities are exceeding 60,000 nowadays, which means every year we have close to 15,000 highly qualified IT specialists graduating university. Same IT academies, and more than 30,000 people, young people, are studying IT disciplines in these IT academies, private IT academies. This is also part of the IT talents development program. Same with school. So we have a program called the Al-Khwarazmi Warislari project. The main goal is making sure that upon the graduation, school graduates are ready to, those who are interested in the IT sector, they are ready to go to the market. And for IT education, I can talk a lot, but due to the very limited time, only for this year, we have plans to nurture and educate more than 50,000 highly qualified IT specialists. We have exact plan and programs supporting our young talent. And most importantly, the biggest project our president this year signed is the program called IT Talents Program, which would be very interesting for our investors and IT companies came to Uzbekistan. For each specialist, every IT academy nurtures and makes sure this graduate goes to exporting IT company. They can get $2,000, up to $2,000 the compensation, which means if let's consider like if one IT academy prepares 1,000 specialists a year and make sure they are entering the exporting IT company, they can earn $200,000 just for the things they are doing every day. So this is the part of the government programs, and actually more than 50 IT education programs we have to support youth, to support IT academies, universities, education institutions, and etc.
Thank you very much, Rustam Aljanovich. Yes, it's 50,000 talents, a really big, ambitious number. And I'm sure that all these universities and education centers will do their best, including our university, and in order to fulfill these requirements. Eduardo, and you said that I can call you Ed. Ed, please, international companies are coming to Uzbekistan market, as it's been presented to previous presenters. And however, still, they say that there are lack of some talents. They still think that the number of the junior specialists are not fitting their level. However, considering your extensive experience with the multinational companies like JP Morgan, Microsoft, and SAP, how can Uzbekistan adapt global best practices in BPO, in business process outsourcing and IT education, to enhance its local talents pool and meet the international standards?
Okay, that's a fantastic long question, but let me try to break it down. First, I would have to disagree that there's a lack of talent here, right? The reason why we started investing in Uzbekistan is because of one major statistic, and that's the general IQ of the population. Let me just break that down for you. We run organizations in Bangladesh, and the export now for digital manpower, right, is the second in the country next to garments. The IQ there is 79 currently. And if you look at the giants, BPO giants, like India's at 81, and they're massive BPO industry. Philippines, where I'm from originally, we are at 83. Uzbekistan ranks at 89, which is extremely high. If you make a calculation for outsourcing destinations, the best price per IQ would be Uzbekistan. Now, the problem that we're having here is not the lack of talent, but it's more on the mapping. So recently we just acquired 2 animation studios in Bangladesh, and I would have to say that this is the best move we've ever had. We are constantly being bombarded by buyers, animation buyers, to a point that we're rejecting them. And we're just throwing them out to different companies. That's how big the consumption of animation is right now. If you think about it, we're living in a time wherein we watch one series in one sitting. We watch movies once and never watch it again, probably forget about it, all right? Now, we are thinking of moving to Uzbekistan and establishing here, getting some work here, also to help support the export here. However, there's a few things that we still don't know. We know there's a high IQ, the incentives are incredible, the ease of business has been very, very easy. In fact, this is we've got investments in Japan and in Thailand and Bangladesh and the US and Philippines, but this is the first place we've done business, and it was the quickest and the easiest. So I could attest to that. However, there's a lot of things going back to the mapping thing. We don't know what the real skills are yet, if you know what I mean. Like Philippines, we're towards more in customer service. In India, they're more on sales and tech support. But in Uzbekistan, we're still figuring that out. So I guess, as academics, to finish this up, the best way we could help them is share our research. If there's numbers on the behavior qualities that greatly impact, like creativity or things that would make artists successful or studios successful, we'd like to know about that. But yeah, that's it for now.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I intentionally started with this tricky question, knowing that, of course, there are much things have been done in raising the talents, and it's better to hear from you rather than I talk. And thank you very much for your thoughts and for your really objective perspectives and talks about our talents. Thank you. Umiteke, we know each other for a long time, and I know you not only as a founder of Millat Umid University, but also that you are the first one who brought the IDP, IELTS IDP, and still running and working in many areas, and you are pretty familiar with raising the talents. And could you please elaborate on how your personal journey and the mission you have set for the Millat Umid University shaping the educational landscape in Uzbekistan, particularly on the nurturing the national hope and future leaders?
Thank you very much. Regarding my personal journey to the university is, of course, allowing our nation to let open the university. I mean, after 2017, we learned that we need to pay attention to education sector, not only public sector, but in private sector. So many universities opened recently and then allowed those people to create or put their value into education system. And when we open our university, we have to set the vision, what the vision we have to stick with so that we can achieve what would be our plan, what would be our strategy to achieve our vision or our mission. So when it comes to the vision, we put it as to repeat the golden age. Everyone knows that we had many scholars in the past, such as Al-Biruni, Al-Khwarizmi especially, who created algebra. through his book Algebra, and also put a lot of value to algorithm. And many other scholars, Avicenna or Al-Farabi, so they were from our society. They put a lot of value to our society to create the golden age. So our vision has to link with our golden age, so that we have to repeat it, because after the golden age we have so much gap, which we proud of having those scholars, but we are not pay attention or showing them by our actions. Therefore, we put our vision as to repeat the golden age, and after that, so how we can repeat the golden age? So it has to be our mission. When it comes to our mission, we have to set the purpose. It was a lot of research, to be honest, how we can repeat the golden age. The main part I learned from my research is all the scholars we had in the past, none of them, not even single of these persons, they stayed in Uzbekistan and became scholar. So our purpose was set as create the global citizen. So we have to be, each person who study in our university, not only in our university, in Uzbekistan, has to be global citizen. It's a requirement right now from international level. Even I agree with Edward that Bangladesh is setting their purpose of becoming global citizen. They're working, outsourcing, they're being in Uzbekistan and working to West or any other countries. Therefore, we set our mission, or I can call it our purpose, is to create the global citizen. It has to be global citizen. So how we can achieve the global citizen? So each faculty we set, we have to link it with international certification. Many people know that we brought the IDP IELTS. Even IELTS exam or IELTS certificate becoming more valuable comparing to any diploma, because any person who is visiting to the job interview, they're being asked first if the person knows English. If the question is yes, the second question is becoming, what is the score of IELTS? So that they know what's the level of English he acknowledged. Therefore, we put our mission is to create the global citizen, and then we set each our faculty. We have 4 faculties like IT, ELT, English teaching, and business and finance. So we linked with international certification so that being, or at least staying in our Uzbekistan, they can be a global citizen. And we're trying to build 2+2 version as well, because we're working with a lot of top-ranked universities, so that students in our university studies 2 years and then transfer their education to any universities globally top-ranked, so that we will achieve our purpose faster.
Yes, I agree with you that these days English proficiency is becoming really important, and especially the companies before the hiring, that they are not asking for diploma, but they're asking for the skills. And one of the main important skills are, as we know, is the English proficiency skills. I mean, the foreign language knowing. And second is the IT certificate. What kind of international IT certificate does he has? And I would like to ask the about this question. Recently, the government adopted the provision regarding supporting talents with having this kind of the scores in the international IT certificates. So what kind of certificate they are, and what kind of benefits are provided by the government, and then and your perspectives about what else we can do on these matters. Thank you.
If you don't mind, I make some change on your question. Why government did it? Why government is supporting our youth so they can get the international English language and IT certifications. So why we as a trying to involve our youth so they get more English language certificate and IT certificate. As you know, we have a lot of talents, but we don't know where they are, right? So in order to make sure that in the interview, when somebody makes an interview and asks for candidate if they have the English language certificate, they say, "Can you show it? Can I check it?" And then they talk and etc. Same with the IT. So for English, we have a lot of the certification programs, but for IT, we don't. So what government is supporting and providing for our use is provide 100% education and certification coverage for those youth who have English language, at least B2 certificate. If they learn and get international IT certificate, they can get 100% reimbursement for their education and certification itself, which means more and more youth with the English language certificate, they can get IT certification, which is also very important for today's IT companies' agenda to recruit the candidates. So first question is English language, second is IT certification. So the proof that the candidate is aware of IT and have some skills. The showing that the knowledge of in IT in certain direction. So the certification is very important. Nowadays, maybe for BPO and KPO companies, it's not much important to know to have IT certification, but for highly paid jobs, it's very important to have IT certification. So this is the new program we have launched in Uzbekistan, and for the last 1 year, we have more than 1,500 candidates who applied to this program and then got the IT certificate and got the reimbursement only for this. And we are ready to nurture and provide and support more young people to get their certification. And one very easy example, we have a search on LinkedIn. If you open LinkedIn and make a search for the data scientist free jobs on the market, you can see at least 500,000 free, jobs there on LinkedIn only, which is also requiring English language and IT certification requirements. So our aim to support our young people to learn IT and English together, so they are more ready to the job market. Same with the IT universities. Now we are requiring the IT universities, so their graduates, they know upon the graduation at least good English language with the certification, good IT knowledge with the certification, and portfolio, what they have done during their study time. So these are the three things that are proving that the student studied well during the 4th year of education. So these are the requirements.
Yes, thank you very much, Ruslan. Yes, you are right, especially about I would like to do some amendments, if you allow. The government also from the last year started embracing the IELTS, those young people who has an IELTS certificate above 7.0. And it means that now young people, they can save the money. I mean, they don't have to spend. And I haven't heard this kind of policy done any countries. I think it's really great, kind of the good possibilities for our young people.
More than 40,000 people applied to this program only last year.
Only, right?
Only last year, and close to 20,000 people got their reimbursement, which means 20,000 young people got C1, which means IELTS 7, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, you're right. Eventually, before this decree, there were 2,000. You can compare it.
Yes,
Before this decree,
right.
There's 2,000 people
Now
took the IELTS and got 7, but now, to correct it, it's 18,000 people got the IELTS 7 last year.
Great numbers, actually, yeah. And Ed, yes, one more question to your side.
Sure.
So I like how you're advocating Uzbek side, and even we just met each other, but we still have so much in common. Well, what emerging trends in IT education do you believe are the most crucial for Uzbekistan to integrate? into its talent development strategies to maintain competitiveness. It's very important, competitiveness and innovation on global scale.
Yes, I love this question.
Nice questions for you.
Yes, I love this question. So I'm a huge science fiction fan. So, but because I've been teaching in the university emerging technologies and business systems for quite a while now. And for emerging technologies, I have a North Star, which is the Gartner's technology hype cycle. If you look into it, what it dictates is what Gartner says, you know, where the futures will be, where the technologies will be in 5, 10 years from now. They are the most accurate. All right, so if you look at like their 2013 report, things that they said like would happen in 5 to 10 years, it's happened in much shorter period of time. So for me, I use the Gartner hype cycle. And then based on that, you map then on the competencies of your BPOs, what you're targeting, right? Okay, yes?
Yeah, well, it's, I think, very challenging, especially when we are facing in the modern trends where the professions are disappearing.
Yes,
and,
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And one of the, I think, I'd like to add this question with what in the terms of Next Gen Academy, where you are involved, what kind of courses you are providing, I would say the trending and competitive courses for our young people?
So right now I'm heading the SAP program, and the reason why we're doing that is because now that Uzbekistan is going more global, taking a more global approach, you see that SAP runs the biggest multinational companies. If you have, I mean, any big brand would be there. If you Nike, Reebok, Coca-Cola, Mercedes-Benz, Adidas, it all runs in SAP. And I think it's one of the few places that it's not being widely spread yet. And I think there's a massive opportunity if you have this 89 average IQ, get into that program. I think I really believe that. And going back to emerging technologies, some technologies are so disruptive. There's AI, right? So the way we tackle this is we go to that report, the hype cycle report, because this comes out of universities, right, based on, out of research. And based on that, at the very earliest stages, we already take it up. All right.
Okay.
So that's
and there is a really nice SAP Academy also, which
yes.
is providing really nice courses for
yeah.
university students.
I would highly recommend students
right.
get
Thank
into
you.
it. Yeah.
Umid, I have some questions to your side as well. Well, reflecting on your huge experience, what do you identify as the key challenges in the current educational system in Uzbekistan, and how your university addressing this to enhancing the quality of education?
I think that's the most challenged question in the panel discussion, I believe. Then I will hand it over to you. Okay, I'll just mention a couple of points. Regarding education sectors right now in Uzbekistan, or lacking of any issues we have is, in general, I will say, one of them is outdated knowledge or outdated books, I could call, or limited access to technology, or lack of teachers, I would call. This is the 3 points that we have to pay attention to our education sector. But when it comes to our university, of course, we do face the same issues, because we had a lot of issues in the past, but now with IT Park or Ministry of Higher Education or Public Education, they're paying attention only those sections right now to enhance these problems, or to enhance, to solve these problems. Therefore, per our university, we're trying to bring a lot of teachers from overseas. The good part is government is giving incentives to taxes, because we are not paying extra taxes for teachers. For the same reason for IT as well, because any IT product we do is, if we are resident of IT Park, we are exempt from many taxes or reduced taxes. In our university, we had the same as IT faculty. The good part I would mention is we added their search report. Search report is from US, and this is examination. We are exclusive dealer in Uzbekistan. We're trying to work Ministry of Higher Education. Even IT Park, we had a meeting 2 weeks ago. In that search report, we also have the SAP products, because I forgot the name. It was 4 letters, Aura or something, that Microsoft has it with SAP. We're trying to give to students this certification. Why? As Edward mentioned, a lot of companies, like top 5 Fortune 500 companies, they use SAP. Yeah. Who they need? They need qualified, competent employee or manpower to hire. That's one of the issues we are paying attention. And only one thing I want to mention as well, there are 2 people we have right now that we are facing. There are a couple of people who speaks English but doesn't have the competence. And at the same time, we have many students who are competent enough but lacking of English proficiency. So we have to, as Edward said, we have to map it, those 2 areas, so that we can provide manpower to globally, so that, you know, BPO or any companies can hire from our country, you know. Therefore, when it comes to pay attention, so we have to pay attention on mapping those 2 areas, because we have people who speaks English but doesn't have competence, and at the same time we have a competent students in IT or any other subjects but lacking of the English. So if we map it, we will be able to provide many students to work globally, I guess. Thank you.
I really appreciate each of you speakers, because we were planning to have this session 20 more minutes, but I've been told just that we have to wrap up now. We will have a Q&A session after this event and in the coffee break time. I really appreciate each of you, Rustamake, Eduardo, and Umideke, for your really precious and valuable messages to our people. So thank you very much, and thank you for your time. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for a wonderful panel discussion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that can be more exciting than seeing the conference audience becoming more and more international, and that is the list of IT Park resident companies becoming more and more international. And that is exactly what we are witnessing, as the Honorable Minister has already mentioned. During the last 2 years, we experienced the 20 times increase in the number of foreign companies joining IT Park residents. And with these companies, we are getting more and more advocates who help us tell the story, and more experts willing to share their first-hand information with companies looking at the market of Uzbekistan. And we have 3 experts who kindly agreed to share their thoughts, experiences, and observations on the potential of Uzbekistan's IT and outsourcing. And it is my honor to invite them for our next panel discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last panel session, so please sit tight we will not be long. We decided to give you a bit more time for your lunch break, so please bear with us. And with this, I would like to invite our experts for the next panel session. Please meet Mr. Sean Manchanda, the Senior Vice President at Infinite Computer Solution. Sean is a principal and leader. Hello. Please have a seat. Principal and leader in outsourcing with expertise in managed services, technology sourcing, cost optimization, IT and technology governance related to managed services contracts, global capability centers, center development, which is GCCs, as we call them, IT outsourcing transactions, business process outsourcing, nearshoring, governance and compliance, e-commerce, private equity operations, and advisor relations. Did I miss anything? Thank you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the next participant of our panel session is Mr. Sean McAllen. Please meet him. He is partner at Saviday and regional director of IDA Ireland. Mr. Sean McAllen boasts a 30-year career at the forefront of FDI, SME development and market entry, significantly contributing to Ireland's global economic presence. Co-founding Saviday, he now advises governments on economic development, leveraging his extensive experience in public and private sector dynamics. Representing IDA Ireland in the Middle East, he plays a pivotal role in promoting Ireland as a prime location for global investors. And the third panelist is Mr. George Held. He is the CEO at Vion AdTech. Please. Mr. George Held is a telco digital transformation executive with broad international experience. His long-term work on Vion Group in different capacities. He was responsible for the development and implementation of digital strategy for existing and new customers, developing a portfolio of digital services including big data, artificial intelligence, ad tech, programmatic, personal security, fintech, TV, media, content services, and digital partnerships. Prior to Vion, he held senior executive positions at Etisalat, Airtel, Zain, Millicom, and Forbes Telecom. Gentlemen, welcome. Now, we have two Seans. I was struggling yesterday differentiating you gentlemen in my notes. I was going to use the first letter of your last name, but they both start with M. So that was challenging appearance-wise, also challenging. Both of you have beautiful haircuts, and both of you look fantastic. So, so I don't want to keep this very formal, but nevertheless, to avoid confusion, I will address you with your last names, if you will. Now, Mr. Held, I would like to start with you. I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, this discussion is primarily for those companies still remaining in doubt about investing in Uzbekistan, because these are, gentlemen, these are companies that come with first-hand information to help you in your decisions. Mr. Held, if you could please shed some light on your decision. Why did, and that is for companies sitting here, why did Vion decide to run the global ad tech business from Uzbekistan IT Park?
At first, thank you very much for a fantastic question, and it's a great opportunity being here. So at first, Vion, we're telco. You know us by the brand Bilan in majority of the operations where we operate, and we're a Dutch company listed in New York Stock Exchange. So for us, at a certain point of time, it was a very important decision where to start our digital business, and specifically ad tech. And we looked at all locations where we operate. And in addition to Uzbekistan, we operate in Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Bangladesh. We have offices in Dubai, in Amsterdam, and London. So we looked at all the locations where we operate, and we did a really thorough analysis and look at the reasons where we should put our operating company who run our advertisement, which is a big data more or less, or AI business, and from where it's going to serve all of our assets, all of our 600 million customers. So it's a big business.
So it wasn't, a decisive one location decision. You had a comparative analysis.
Yeah, we had an analysis to run, and then we have a board to whom we had to present. So it's not like our group CEO arrived here to Uzbekistan, tried plov, and looked around and thought, yes, this is a nice place. It's a proper mathematical analysis behind it. So for this one, we looked at two main groups. One is the business, and another one is administrative. So on the business side, what was very important for us, because we are running big data or AI business, is where can we find the big pool of young, intelligent mathematicians? Because in reality, big data, outside of all the fuzz around this one, it's a mathematics.
True.
It's if you have a good mathematician, you can train them. So, and here in Uzbekistan, it's a huge pool of huge mathematical schools and people with a good knowledge of mathematics. Actually, it's the reason why the first algorithm was actually invented here. So, huge pool of mathematics whom we can easily train and convert into the proper data scientists. Another thing which was very important for us is the balanced data policy in the country. So in Europe, they have GDPR, in the States, they have CDPR, and all of those fancy things, which in reality, outside of being very elegantly written by lawyers, actually doesn't allow business to flourish, and at the same time doesn't allow to protect customers.
Sure.
Here in Uzbekistan, it is really balanced data protected policy developed by the government. And the third element, which was extremely important for us, availability of the data centers. So for us, because it's a big data business, we process lots of data. And to process it, we need lots of capacity. And instead of processing in United States or in Frankfurt, for us, it's very important to process it locally because of the data sovereignty and lots of important data elements. Here in Uzbekistan, we immediately got access to a huge governmental data center where actually majority of our algorithms and all the data is running for us. So access to talent, balanced data policy, and access to the data centers. Those three business important elements. And outside of this one is administrative things for us. Though it sounds small, but in reality, they're very important. First, it's a safety and security. It is safe and secure to live here and operate. And for example, for this reason, Pakistan and Bangladesh were taken out of the list. Another one, which was very important for us, is ability to travel. And for us, it's very easy to travel from Pakistan, to Bangladesh, to Kazakhstan, to all the countries where we operate because of the ability of really ease of transportation. And the third is cost of living. So cost of living in Uzbekistan, luckily for us as a business, cannot be compared to cost of living in London or in Amsterdam. So security, transportation, and cost of living, those three important admin things. So from this perspective, on the business side, clear winner was Uzbekistan. On the administrative side, also clear winner. And at a certain point of time, if you're going to give me an opportunity, I'll share the results of first year of operations.
That would be nice, yes, that would be my second. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I really ask you to pay close attention because what Mr. Hell is saying is precisely those questions that come as being of highest priority when new companies come to Uzbekistan. Now, I couldn't have said it better in a separate case study. So thank you very much. Yes, it would be nice to know what the result was of the first year.
And again, what the stuff which I was telling you about or sharing with you, it's not a theory.
Right.
It's not somebody wrote in the book or you invited a very expensive consultancy company who prepared the thesis. It's actually blood, sweat, and tears of reality done on the market. So this is the reason why almost exactly a year ago, we decided to set up a business here. So now, looking back, and what was done right now, when you switch television on in Pakistan and you follow Cricket World Cup, advertisement there is run by data scientists here out of Uzbekistan. Guys
so?
in Tashkent
Wow.
actually running advertisement during the cricket matches. In Bangladesh, during football, because for some reason people follow football in Bangladesh, which we didn't expect. The same things are done by the data scientists from this country.
Uzbekistan, you gotta
from
be kidding me,
Uzbekistan.
really?
In Kyrgyzstan, we have a Ministry of Transportation to actually advise where to put the bus stops and on the roads. So lots of things are actually done here. So we're extremely fortunate that, yes, the decision was made. The minister himself supports us. His vice presidents also engaged with us very much. But again, theory is a great thing.
Yep.
You switch on television in Pakistan and you see ad. An ad is run by guys here in Uzbekistan. You switch football match in Bangladesh in our TOFI application, which consumed by 30 million people, and it's run there. And for us, kind of the extremely exciting learning was, as soon as we started working with those big countries, and for us, for example, in Pakistan, it is 180 million people country, and any applications which we are running, for example, we're running our television service there, we call it TOFI, it's a 30 million service. Our self-service application, 25 million users. So we touch anything with the data scientists, with the great mathematicians from here, from Tashkent, and immediately millions of people are impacted by the job done by the guys. And actually, none of them actually thought about this. You're writing a piece of code and you immediately impact 500 million people.
Yeah.
And for scientists, for engineers, for software developers, probably this is the most important thing. It's not just how much money you get in at the end of the day, or how much bread and whatever drinks you can buy, and whatever you can brag with your friends. In reality, any line of code which you're writing impacts millions of people, and this is a reality here in Uzbekistan. So we're extremely happy. Of course, we're pushing to increase revenue and pushing to export revenue from the country and increase engagement with the clients. But what's very important is everything which is done by young scientists here in Tashkent actually impacts millions of lives. And for us, when you look in the mirror of what we have done, it actually makes us all proud.
You know, George, both the ministry and IT Park work a lot on extending and enhancing these advantages, but when you actually hear these things at work, I mean, I don't know about my colleagues, but I'm becoming very emotional. I'm filled with proud. So thank you very much for sharing this. Now, Mr. McKellen, maybe resonating on some of the reasons you mentioned, Mr. Held mentioned, you've been with us for quite a while now. You are advising, consulting the minister on some very, very major projects. So you have quite a deep perspective on the potential, on the reality in place here in Uzbekistan. So also based on that, if you could please share with us, and I'm sure this will be very interesting for those companies considering Uzbekistan as their outsourcing destination, what unique strategic advantages do you think Uzbekistan has as an IT and outsourcing destination, especially coming from your experience in Middle East, Central Asia, because you had quite a work there. So your thought on some unique strategic advantages we have, if we do at all.
Well, you certainly do. Thank you to the Minister and for Farkak for the kind invitation to be here. I think that the biggest advantage is the young population.
Young population?
Young population. If I look at a data point to try and benchmark against where I've come from, which is Ireland and the success that we've had.
Right.
And just, I won't go on about Ireland, but just to give you an indication, last year Ireland exported 383 billion euros in goods and services.
383 billion
euros.
Wow.
The majority of that would have been in the IT.
Right.
Well, maybe not the majority, but a good portion of that would have been the IT sector. What drove a lot of that growth is a good ecosystem.
Sure.
One of the key elements in that ecosystem were young people and young talented people. And my colleague here has just explained why he has had success, and it's been driven by talent.
Right.
I think the policy of the ministry and the government in general to upskill people, we're coming to a major inflection point, I think, with technology. AI is everywhere. AI is the buzzword of the year. But having a young population, having the right policies, the right attitude from the government to upskill people, I don't believe that jobs will disappear with AI.
Which is a common fear.
I think roles and how people do jobs will change, but
Absolutely.
jobs won't disappear.
Yeah.
You'll still need people to interpret the technology, administer the technology,
True.
manage the technology. Having a young population that you can maneuver and strategically prepare for that market opportunity is where I see a big advantage with Uzbekistan, particularly as the government is putting their arms around that. The incentive and the subsidy for training, that's very generous. It's a very generous incentive. So I see a lot of the right things happening. The infrastructure, the commitment to data center, the commitment to connectivity, not only technological connectivity, but the ability to fly direct to different countries, movement of people. This all points to me to a bright future for Uzbekistan. So I think the people and the policy of the government to enable those people to participate is the major advantage that I see at the moment.
Thank you very much. Now, just a note, ladies and gentlemen. Please keep in mind that we are talking with experts representing private sector. As Mr. Held mentioned, yes, we do feel a very strong support from the government, from the ministry, but a good relationship with the government can get you this far. Because ultimately, companies speak a language of net profit. So this is something very important to keep in mind. And with that, I would turn to Mr. Manchanda now, this is your first time in Uzbekistan, isn't it?
That's right.
Right. I don't know if you had a chance to have a feel into our ecosystem and potential of IT and outsourcing. And if you did, it would be very nice to hear your thoughts, especially coming from your experience in Latin America, Eastern Europe, Canada, and Asia, Mr. McAllen,
yeah, I can
right,
take off on
right,
that.
right. Mr. McAllen, with this comparison, Middle East, but it would be nice to hear your thoughts with a comparative analysis on those regions of your experience, please.
Thank you for that, and thanks for having me. So I'm going to give you my perspective from a US-centric standpoint, but as we were in the US and looked at different parts of the world and where to set up new captives and IT centers, shared services centers in the areas of BPO and IT services, why we selected certain regions.
Yep.
So just a quick background. My experience was based on firms I worked with, which are primarily Accenture, which drives a lot of the Ireland business, by the way, and that big number, as it's where Accenture's registered in Ireland. But HCL, Cognizant, and IBM. Those are 4 companies I've worked with over the last 25 years. And I'll give you the US perspective as to how US customers think about this, how we think about the world of where to put services and source services, which countries have done it right, and which countries have actually not done it right. So from that standpoint, and I've spent time in Eastern Europe and Latin America and India primarily as we looked at centers. So I was in a conference room at Accenture, and we were called Anderson at the time, in 1999, and we had 400 people in India at the time. And somebody said, well, in India today we have about 375 people. You know, we probably will just use India for Y2K stuff, and we'll keep it at that. They seem to have some smart testers there, and we kept it at that. Well, 24 years later, India now has one company, Tata, that does over 25 billion in revenue in IT services, and is a major powerhouse, right? With that, they've got a lot of national companies that have formed, like HCL, Cognizant, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, Infosys, that have done exceedingly well. They've created their own national champions, but they've also, as a part of this, become a major supermarket for IT services. Now you compare and contrast that with a lot of other countries that could have been there, i.e. Brazil, and for some of the other reasons mentioned here, who did not have the right regulatory structure and have not been able to develop because of taxation reasons and a series of other things such as bureaucracy and red tape, and those countries could have advanced the ball. There's also some really interesting things that I think now come into Uzbekistan's purview. Out of the former Soviet states, this is probably the best positioned state to serve the US market, and probably I'll extend that thought to Western Europe. 3 other places have fallen off the list. For us, Russia, Belarus, and unfortunately Ukraine have not been, are not in a position where we can buy services adequately from those regions anymore. Hopefully that will solve itself in the next several years. What does that do for the Russian-speaking markets as well as for the US? Uzbekistan is considered the Switzerland of this area and can be looked at very strategically to start developing services. The costs are under control as well. I think somebody mentioned and talked about the costs of doing business here. Safety, transportation, a number of other things, government regulation. The stars are aligning here, and I think this can be one of those great stellar stories in the next 5 to 7 years. Much like Poland had after 1991, it really extended itself and grew very well. And I think this could be another Poland. This may not be the size of India, because India has 1.4 billion people with 700 million under the age of 29, but it can be a fast starter. And there's going to be certain areas of differentiation that have to come out, and those will be worked out in due course. Skill sets are going to be key. How you access certain skill sets and drive them into corporations. When a US company looks at an outsourcing partner right now, it's a lot of the other things that have been talked about, government regulation, taxation, etc., but it's the speed at which you can get resources at the right price point and the velocity. Yeah, the velocity of recruitment is key. So with that, I've got some ideas that I'm going to be talking to the IT Park executive leadership about, including a new which we're going to try to see whether we can do something interesting with to secure top resumes and effectively get resources in to drive our projects. I'm going to do that for potentially my company, but in general, I think we also have another company that we've created this recruitment engine for that's going to be, I think, very strategic here. So those are some of my initial comments. I think there's some really good things going on. The stars are aligning, but there are success stories that Uzbekistan can hitch itself to, some of which I've described, and there are pitfalls that Uzbekistan can avoid by some countries that could have been there but have never been able to execute.
Excellent, excellent. That's very inspiring. We're looking forward to an increasing involvement from your side, and we're looking forward to drawing more and more from your expertise, Mr. Manchan. Gentlemen, just with these first round of questions, I think we managed to send the right message to the audience, especially if those companies thinking, considering investing in Uzbekistan. But one last question that I want to address to Mr. McAllen, and if gentlemen, you will have anything to add, we will be more than glad to hear you. Again, this discussion is for our potential residents of IT Park. What would you recommend to these companies as a strategy in selecting Uzbekistan as their IT and outsourcing destination?
In terms of selecting Uzbekistan, well,
yes,
I would start with IT Park. I think what IT Park has presented is a platform to allow you to enter easily and quickly into Uzbekistan. Every country has got bureaucracy,
yeah,
Ireland included. I think what IT Park has done is moved that bureaucracy aside and allowed you to come in and look at your commercial decision that you need to make. They've really removed any anxiety or risk associated with setup,
yep.
And that is critical. The ability to set up and establish and operate quickly and timely is very, very important. The wider government is doing the same thing, right. But IT Park as a landing area, mm-hmm. or a platform is incredibly advantageous. So,
gentlemen, if you have anything to add, any recommendations, maybe for companies when entering, what would be the best way to enter Uzbekistan with your perspective, from your perspective?
I think you're doing a lot of the right things here. This particular conference and the way it's been arranged, I mean, I can't compliment the IT Park management and administration, the minister, the Honorable Minister of Digital Technologies. You're all doing a stellar job in how Uzbekistan needs to be positioned. A lot of this comes down to brand building. I think, yep. You know, I talked about the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is south of you here in India, but in general, you've got to build yourself a brand and stand out. Every country today wants to generate IT jobs, remember that. Even the states within the United States, actually, Georgia and places like Maine and others want to promote IT jobs. So you're in a very, very, very competitive market. How do you build the brand for Uzbekistan IT is going to be the challenge for the next 3 to 5 years. You're doing a lot of the right things. And I always say, you know, have your people complemented by experts. I'm sure many very competent people in the room. Bring in those experts and build that ecosystem. Have people that have great passion and interest and can make some money along the way to go out there and be your cheerleaders, your folks that are going to be in different regions to basically beat the drum and bring in new business. That's what I would suggest you do. But it's a great story so far, and I look forward to hearing more about it.
That's very inspiring. Thank you very much, Mr. Manchanda. Michelle, anything to add?
You know, when you're standing on the shore of the river,
yeah.
and you're about to jump and start swimming, the longer you wait, more difficult it is to jump.
That's true.
And maybe it is going to be somebody else who already going to jump into this water. So our advice to anybody who would like to start the business from the really cool place, start it now, don't wait. The longer you're going to wait, it's more difficult. It's going to be wait for you to jump. You're going to invite hundreds of consultants who are going to advise you what to do, what not to do. Look, this is the water. It is 25 degrees. You can swim in this one.
Yep.
You've done it before. So for any business, jump into this water and swim. You're going to be a champion. We did it. And you know, when people are saying you have to put your money where your mouth is,
yep.
Just to give you an example how committed we are, we actually bought the building in this campus.
Yes.
Yeah, we just bought a huge building just to be there. So for us, the decision was very simple. Jump and swim, and you're going to be next Michael Phelps. You just need to start. Otherwise, you're just going to be waiting for excuses.
Fantastic. I think this is a very powerful message that will definitely encourage a lot of companies to join Uzbekistan and its market. Gentlemen, I wish I had another hour for this discussion, because the more we talk to you, the more we, as the audience start, getting powered up and heated up. But as I said, we want to give our audience more time for lunch. Plus, you already had sent the right message, very precise message, and we thank you very much for that. Gentlemen, thank you very much for a wonderful discussion. I'm sure you will be approached a lot during your lunchtime by a lot of companies. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking this trio of fine gentlemen for this panel discussion. Feel free to return to your seats. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sure. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, before we let you go, this closes this part of our event. We are not saying goodbye to you, because couple of words about what you should expect. I'm sure your assistants are with you, giving you the right instructions. But after the lunch, you will have very interesting site visits. And then in the evening, we will have a rendezvous with you over a dinner. And then tomorrow, you will be transferred to a magical city of Samarkand for another very interesting roundtable and some other very interesting site visits. And the third day will be fully dedicated to a cultural program which will give you a lot of unforgettable memories to take away with you. Before you go, can I please ask you to scan that QR code for a feedback survey? We would be absolutely grateful for your, it's right here, right, for your effort in sharing your thoughts and experiences, any observations you may have about this conference. That would help us become even better and enable us to be even more useful for our audience. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for being with us and helping us write our story. Please enjoy the rest of your event. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, your lunch is awaiting for you outside.